I don't get it.
Exactly. You're on the show. We're talking about it. Like, that's what I love about Kathy, and she kind of gets in it. And I did like that they kind of on the after show talked a little bit about the manipulation that Kathy does. Like, is this a shtick or is she really out of it? You know, she's kind of like a mafiosa with the parties, and you get blacklisted. So there's a little bit of that with Kathy. So that was interesting.
That's what I said. I said, this, when she says we'll do a ringy dingy, I talked about this on another show. That brings me right back to Aspen and Lisa Rinna, and Lisa Rinna exiting the show, and Lisa Rinna's PR parting with her the same day Paris Hilton's parts with her, because one works with Nikki and one works with Paris. And I mean, and also, by the way, I mean, Catherine Edwards brought this up when she was on my show, and I'm like, it's a good point. Like, if if Rinna came back to the show and Denise was on the show, we would have, that's a big one. Like, we would have to get these two back together. If LVP came on the show,
Mhm.
her and Kyle would have to sit down. Why we just forgot that Kathy and Erica, like, basically the last time we saw them, Erica's like, I will always stand up for the gay community. You said this, I'm standing by it. Period. And Kathy
Uh-huh.
was like, fuck
Mhm.
off, Erica. So, I mean, and then Erica lost her PR person. She did. We can spin it any way she wants.
Yeah.
Erica's PR person is also represents Nikki, and Lisa Rinna's also represents Paris. And they both lost their PR person the same day. Coincidence? Give me a fucking break. It is not a
I don't think so.
coincidence. So it's just also
I don't think it's a
weird,
coincidence.
right? And it's weird, like, if you think about it, Kathy, I mean, Erica and Kathy, there should technically be some coming back together, because the last time we saw them, that's what happened. But I think we just don't care and we glossed over it. They're not big enough, I guess, to fight. I don't know.
That's a good point. I didn't think about that. I mean, they just kind of moved on. And I mean, I think that Erica is not as scared of Kathy as the rest of them. I think she's like, okay, I don't get invited to your Christmas party. Like, I don't care. She's not as affected. So maybe that's why. I think if it was any of the other ladies, they would be very nervous. And even Garcelle was like a little shady towards Kathy, was like, well, I'm not going to her 500 parties anyway. So I think there's a little bit of like, they're kind of seeing Kathy for who she is. She's a bit more calculated. She's like, I don't unfollow anyone because I don't want to give them the satisfaction. Like, don't take wife off your bio. Let him sweat it out. Like, she's a little bit more calculated than like, oops, I have a fan and I tripped. And like, I think some of that is a cover. I think she's quite strategic. Yeah.
Well, people have said this for a long time. There's a lot of people that agree with you that she is a wolf in sheep's clothing, and she knows just what she's right. She's like that type that comes in and just, wants to stir up the problem but wants clean hands, and just drops it's like backhanded shade, and is like, well, now I'm gonna leave and I'm so clueless, but I really caused all of
Right.
that. Yeah.
Right. Right. Yeah, she's a little bit like kooky wacky. And like even she posted that video around the Oscars where she's like, do you have your Christmas tree up? Like some of those videos, it like disarms her and you're like, oh, she's just like a kooky lady. And then, she's at Trump's, Super Bowl party. And then even that, she was like kind of wiggled her way out of it. It was like, well, I was invited and I didn't really know what it was. It's like, you didn't know you were going to Mar-a-Lago? Like, some of that is like a little like, it's fine if you go. Like, I don't have a problem. Do whatever you want. But don't pretend you just kind of ended up there accidentally. I don't know what that
Yes. No,
means?
I mean, I understand. Just be like Jill Zarin, and I think Jill has leaned
Yeah.
completely into. At one point, she wasn't, but she now, I think, is just. I agree. Just own it. Vote any way you want. I don't give a shit. Just own whichever
Yeah,
way
do
that
whatever you
is.
want.
Yeah, and I think
Yes,
Jennifer
yes. Don't pretend.
Tilly, yeah, don't pretend. And I think Jennifer Tilly so far seems authentic. Although we have to watch her. She's the poker player. But I don't think she's that crafty. I think it really is just like she's clueless about a lot of things in a good way.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. She's just out of touch. I think when you get into that one percenter, like I feel like you get out of touch. I love when she was like, "I'm a celebrity, like Sutton, I'm your friend. You're not treating me like the celebrity that I am." I thought that was funny. I was like, "Okay, that makes sense."
Anything interesting going on with Blake and Justin that you want to talk about? I just saw something the other day about he might lose this New York Times lawsuit, but I don't know why really. Anything going on with these
They're
two?
dismissing it. they're dismissing the lawsuit with the New York Times because they're saying that it's like freedom of speech and that they can basically, because they're a publication, they're allowed to say certain things. But again, I thought that was defamation if it's not rooted in fact. So I'm a little confused, but I guess they're going to drop that part. But I don't think Justin really cares about that. I think he really wants to come after Blake and Ryan. So I would be very surprised if this is going to go to court in within a year. I mean, if we're going to talk about this for a year, like y'all need to find a way to settle this and move on. I'm a little like when I see the stories now, I just scroll past them. So I don't know. And then Donna Bowling, I don't know if you've seen her videos. She posts a lot about Blake. She's
The
saying that
only
her
videos that I
algorithm is now.
see, well, what she's because I see Perez's, those are the ones that come up, but what she's saying that her algorithm is affected.
Yeah, she's saying that this is allegedly what she said. I haven't seen the video, but I heard that that's what she said. That like her algorithm is somehow affected by Justin and Blake, and that not Justin, sorry, Blake and Ryan are somehow getting to bloggers and they're suppressing people's content. I don't know how they would do that per se, but I mean, if you have the funds, I mean, they hired an ex-CIA person. So they're saying this ex-CIA guy is scrubbing content and shadow banning people's accounts. I mean, who knows? I mean, I don't know.
Well, that must be Perez was talking about. I don't think it's happened to him, but Perez was talking about, yeah, that he heard that people's videos, like this video, maybe this video will be like, there'll be no sound in a minute. And then for the next 5 minutes, you won't hear anything. Perez is like, the rumor is weird things like that are happening to content creators that are against Blake. I mean, listen, an ex-CIA person is no joke. But it's like, why are you even hiring this person? Like, you already have a lawyer. Like, it's not, I think it's major panic on their part, I think.
It is. It is. And it makes you look like I feel like it makes you look guilty.
It makes you
So,
look guilty, but I mean, in a way, I'm not saying it, but this is the same thing that Teresa was accused of doing with bloggers, like hiring bloggers to say great things
mm.
about you. And, it is technically the same thing, you know?
I mean, it works. Like, and also the public opinion is very fickle. One day you love someone, and then unfortunately, I've seen it when I worked in PR. People love to see a celebrity rise. They love to see them fall. They love that. They love the decline. And then they love you to decline like Lindsay Lohan, and then you come back and they love that too. So I think I don't know. The audience is very fickle. So I don't know. Maybe in a couple of months, they'll be on her side. I have no idea. I mean, really, there's no way to know.
I would agree with you. They love a rise and they love a fall. And Lindsay is back and just the darling
So,
of has cleaned up her act and looks so good. And
her at Vanity
um,
Fair, so good.
I would
So
love someone to go on this. The wives of the sea, the Shannon, Dolores, and Teresa. I mean, I'm not going. The thing that Jennifer Aiden that got fired for it. We have Miss
yes.
Aiden got fired. Now Shannon is there, but Dolores, Teresa, and Shannon, isn't that in like September? I don't know when that is.
September 19th, I want to say. September 19th. That's a weird group. I don't know if Shannon's gonna really with them. That's a weird group. I
It's
don't
a
know about that.
weird group. I mean, they must be getting paid something decent for this, you
Hmm.
know?
Hmm.
Um, so that's that. But it's a weird group. I mean, I have heard nobody who's actually going on it. Look, there's a meet and greet and there's BravoCon and there's all this.